You would have become ChatGPT of today's world,
Yeah.
backed by multi-billion dollars.
Next 2 years, 80% of the code will be written by AI bots, and big organizations already mentioned 40% of their code is being written by AI bots and being reviewed by human in the loops. You are thinking like US, you can make money easily. It's not the right place for you. Who left their jobs to come here searching for jobs, they regret that, why did I come here? Be the next AI leader. Don't be lazy. If you're lazy, you cannot survive. And the dream of coming to US was a biggest thing. India is growing, our world is growing. And only 20% of the people who build all these agentic AI orchestrations are in production.
This is interesting. I didn't know about
an XAI. What Elon Musk and his team is doing is nobody do not even know.
There is a lot of confusion that agents are nothing just a bot.
So the next 1 year is going to be challenging for everybody. Working model of how industries hire people will change. So with proper prompt engineering, with proper set of examples, with proper training of the prompt engineering prompts that you write, hallucinations can be decreased.
This podcast, this is going to be first podcast in person, and with my friend Lakshman here. With Lakshman, I've been working for last several years, and Lakshman comes with lot of hands-on knowledge. So for what you ever seen on the AB talks, it's mostly at the leadership level, but someone who's like into it, have hands dirty. We are going to learn a lot from this podcast. And with that, I would like to invite Lakshman and probably start with his introduction. Lakshman.
Thanks, Anil. Thanks for your brief. Hey, everyone. This is Lakshman. Thank you for inviting me to this podcast. I'm here to talk about various things, what is happening in the market. So going back to my history, I've a computer science background. From the past 15 years, I'm in the field of technology, IT. So I have a bachelor's degree in the field of computer science. I have a master's degree in the field of computer science. I started my career back in 2013, where I know nothing about what is coding. Even though I have a master's degree, I've never seen a corporate life, how it will be. So I started my career as a software engineer in a mutual fund industry back in Kansas City, where that helped me to grow my career. I've learned a lot. I met various number of people. I'm still in touch with most of the folks that I used to report back then. So that is how, whenever you're in a corporate world for the first time, you have the fear, you have the passion to learn, and that's where you grow your career. From there, there's no turnaround for me. I've been in this industry. From mutual fund, I moved to healthcare industry. I spent 3 years. From there, I've been working with a e-commerce industry. When I was in e-commerce industry, I felt like, hey, this is not the right place for me, because I enjoy what I'm doing there, but I always felt healthcare and helping the organizations in healthcare is always my passion, because you do something, somebody is benefiting in that. So then I moved back to a top Fortune healthcare company where I've led AI teams. From there, I would say my career in AI has been a futuristic state. So where I got to use the first GPT 3.5 Turbo key, and I do not know what is an LLM at the time. So that's where I invested myself, learning day and night. I spent almost like 5 hours extra to understand what is this. That's where it landed me to lead and be a strategist in AI for my current organizations. In 2017, 2018, when I was working for a smaller healthcare organization, my leader has a vision of building this kind of chat applications. At that time, ours is a first chat bot using the bot framework. We were able to successfully deploy that.
Okay.
At that time, you know what? We showed this demo to our leadership. They did not approve $1 funding for it.
You would have become ChatGPT of today's world.
Yeah, exactly. So there are things, right? So when you have greater leaders who have greater vision, but things could not survive because there's no proper vision of things. But going back, the same concept with enhanced version was revolution now.
Right.
Yeah, then
You could have asked someone to sit in India and start replying to that chatbot and look intelligent.
yeah, exactly. So yeah, whatever it happened, right? So bot framework was there from past 10 years. Yeah.
Future is bright. So moving next to this podcast, right? Tell me, if someone who's going to watch, right? I'm assuming people who follow you
Mhm.
will learn a lot from this podcast. So how was your journey, right?
Yes.
I know the situation is tough these days, but if a person would want to come to US, what is the easiest path?
So nothing comes easy. So that you need to keep in mind. Coming to US was an option back 15 years. Now, if you're talented, you know how to do things, you know how to use these AI tools, spend 5 hours every week to learn something new. So there is a book called Atomic Habits. Read that book and it will change your life. Try to think broader than what you are. Don't be lazy. If you're lazy, you cannot survive. And the dream of coming to US was a biggest thing. I would say you learn, be the next AI leader or whatever, stay with your family and grow your career there. Yes, India is growing, our world is growing. Not I would not say like US is, but if you are coming as coming as a student thinking like money making is easy, it's not for you.
Yep.
You have multiple number of people waiting to get jobs
In the restaurants.
yes, yeah, exactly. So I met couple of people who left their jobs to come here searching for jobs. They regret that, why did I come here?
Yep.
You don't need to come. If you have a job back there, spend that time learning new things. I would say like 5 hours each day. So I put like every Sunday, no matter what, I put my 4 to 5 hours of time learning new things. Be hands on. Technology is changing a lot. If you are not hands on, you cannot survive in this industry.
Right. So the takeaway is, in this time, there are two ways. One, if you can target the best universities in US,
Yes.
probably that's the right way to come early in your career. Otherwise, work on your skills, get into a consulting firm, which can make your move to US easier, right?
Exactly.
So that is the right way to look at. And I completely buy these points, because I also recommend and mentor people that rather than go and invest in your higher studies, better invest in your skills and in 2 3 years, because there was a time when you are 5 years, 6 years, 10 years, and then you only get a chance to move to US.
Exactly.
I think just because there are so many opportunities in these niche areas, people are moving to US. Even in my team, there are 2 years, 3 years folks are also in US, right?
Yeah.
So I definitely can correlate with. Now, I saw that your post on LinkedIn, right? You talk so much on AI, right? And you are hands on as well. So if I ask you, tell me 4 or 5 things, right, in a guided manner, so that any newbie, any fresh grad, or anyone who's pursuing, let's say, in Java or something else, can become AI engineer.
Yes, sure. I started my career as a Java developer. At the time, I still remember when they started my career, when I was writing my first program, I'm confused why there are so many methods, so many returns and all that stuff. But the proper guidance helped me. At the time, the courses were less, but now to start your career in AI, there are n number of courses available. So for me, when I was telling you in 2023, I got access to the GPT-35 Turbo key. What helped me is there's a website called deeplearning.ai. That site, you will have anything about AI. It's completely free.
Okay.
Spend 30 minutes. If you cannot spend 5 hours over the course, spend 30 minutes trying to learn the new. It's go look at their courses back in 2023. Talks about what is generative AI. What is AI? What is the comparison between generative AI versus now it's agentic AI? And also you get to know what is prompt engineering, because that plays a key role, right? So if you cannot ask a right prompt, you cannot do your work.
Yes.
So same thing. So that is one of the deeplearning.ai. And then Microsoft there is a GitHub repository, and it starts from what is generative AI, from basic Python programming to building an agent and deploying it as well. So that is one of the coolest beginner courses. If you want to grow your career in AI, I would say if you are in Java, that is good, but try to learn more in Python. So I feel like there are more number of what you call dependencies and SDKs in Python that all the AI community is building. So Microsoft bought GitHub, but if you look at all the GitHub community, right, it's open source. I worked with various clients in my past, and few of my past I worked with some of the greatest engineers from Microsoft. They spend 2 hours of their time going through GitHub repositories and picking up the pull requests and trying to code review.
Okay.
That is not their job. That's their doing back to the community. So that's where you learned. That's where I was like shocked. Why is he going to the public communities and doing a pull request comments or reviewing their code? That's when I learned. So that's where.
This is interesting. I didn't know about. I know that people are doing bug bounty and things like that. So are they like do they get incentivized for something?
Nothing.
No,
They
that's
get
all-
knowledge.
Oh.
They get knowledge. They get community back to their accounts. So they do personal projects. So that's why. Be hands on. Try to build something. It might be a failure. Don't worry. It's
So on that one, Lakshman, tell me, like, because there are so many tools available, right? Winds, Laplet, Lovable, whatnot, right? So as a hands-on developer and architect, which tool do you recommend and why?
so yeah. So there are tools, right? So for my example, so when we are working for organization, there will be so many limitations that you cannot use n number of tools because you need to have MSAs with them and all. So for personal projects, what I usually use Claude is best.
Claude is best.
But I love ChatGPT for rephrasing my emails or my content.
That's someone I was joking for. I said like where you use GPT or LLM. I said like they help me in my emails.
Yeah, exactly.
That's it.
So when you're writing, so Plot gives you very good documentation and things like that. When you need to prepare like markdown documents or do blog posts and all, but for GPT, you have various number of models that can help you to give the context. But coming to the tools, right? So Cursor plays a key role in writing code, and you have Windsurf as well, which is a great tool for writing code. Lovable is one good if you're building UI based projects.
Yeah.
Anything. See, right now we cannot compare each model, but from my experience, if you are using so all these tools, right? It's a fork of VS Code. So Microsoft VS Code, you have Copilot.
Yeah.
Cursor, you have a chatbot. Windsurf, you have a chatbot. But end of the day, you need to know how to use these tools. There are YouTube videos that help you to learn how to use these tools, commands and things like that. But I would say like for your career to start off, first learn the basics. Do not jump into writing code with these AI tools. This will make you slow down in your career. Learn the basics. Without basics, you cannot just rely on the code that is being generated. I would say any code that is generated by your AI, walk through. Even myself, when I'm doing my personal projects or anything, I debug. I go line by line and see what is happening at each step. That is when you learn. Yeah, let AI write it, but you be a human in the loop to review.
So you, just to summarize this part, right? You're saying deep learning.ai, talking about some of the GitHub, and then do your own code, and then learn Python if possible compared to other languages, and then last you mentioned do code rather than taking a lot of AI help.
Yeah.
But you also talked about some of the AI tools to expedite your programming process. The next thing, Lakshman, yeah, right, in terms of the domain. Right, let's say someone is working in US healthcare is definitely a complex domain and ever growing, right? It is not going to stop soon. And then there is banking, there is insurance. You also mentioned about some other domains. If someone is watching this video and planning to target a company based on a domain, which one you recommend?
So you all know, anybody who have seen interviews from Mark Zuckerberg, he mentioned next 2 years, 80% of the code will be written by AI bots, is what he mentioned.
Sometime in the next 12 to 18 months, we'll reach the point where like most of the code that's going towards these efforts is written by AI.
And big organizations already mentioned 40% of their code is being written by AI bots and being reviewed by human in the loops. So, where to your question, right? So, how do you target an organization? So, from my experience, right, if you are early in career and if you are passionate about technology, you want to be the person who is building the LLMs versus using the LLMs. There is a lot of difference. If you are building the GPT-6,
100 million versus 200K.
yeah, exactly. If you are building the GPT-6, your education and your type of work is different. If you are using
As a user.
using those, see, there is a lot of difference, right? You want to be you want to be in the other side of the code, or you want to be this side of the code.
Developer versus user.
Not about developer. Developer, you can be a developer on
We became user only, right?
Yeah.
Because we do prompt engineering. We do very low level of coding, right? We are still able to manage to code at a level that is very next to the machine level, right? Now, just because these drag and drop tools, Copilot Studio, Google ADK, right? You are end up doing high level coding, which is nothing just as user.
Yes. For me, yeah. If you want to be close to technology, I would aim companies who are investing in the technology. If you want to be in healthcare, where your passion goes. For me, being in healthcare from past almost my 15 years of career, I was 12 years in healthcare. For me, doing in healthcare keeps me happy. Giving back to the society in healthcare is huge. There's a lot of automation that needed, from patient care to receiving a patient in the hospital.
Yeah.
So, and it's early stages of using AI in healthcare. So there are industries in healthcare where people did not even touch how AI can make a huge role.
Right.
So with generative AI and agentic AI in the market, I feel like there's more scope in healthcare. Coming to another industries, you have seen automobile industry is a place where people can think as an example, right? If you have a future of identifying the wear and tear of your tires using AI,
So you mentioned about healthcare, you mentioned about automobile. What else?
the technology companies like FANG. So if you want to be like the forefront of developing like XAI, and what about all the companies who are OpenAI? So I worked with one person recently. He mentioned to me, hey, I don't like to be a user. I want to be a person who build these LLMs. How these LLMs are working is my passion. I wanted to learn and be in that journey. And XAI, what Elon Musk and his team is doing is nobody do not even know. It's XAI. You go to Twitter and you ask Grok at the rate Grok and see how. I will be surprised how it is able to get real time information. This is all invest on your learning. But there are different industries. You cannot limit yourself. Your career path should be derived from your passion. If you have a greater passion, then you will have a futuristic state. I would say, like, in your early stage of life, do not be lazy. I still feel I wasted my first 4 years of my career in United States during my first job, getting used to the work that I know, that I did not get time to focus on learning. I was thinking I have a job, I have a career, I have a full-time job, they're giving me money, I'm doing what they asked, but I never thought like if I invested 5 hours back then, I would have been in a
Sharpen the X.
Yeah.
All right.
But never late.
It's never late.
Never late. So my technology is getting broader. Be on the cutting edge is what I can say.
I was taking the podcast, and this gentleman has seen a lot of organization groups, right? So he was saying, Anil, when there was a time, people used to see $1 billion company at 10th year, 15th year of their lifespan. Now you can see like $1 billion company next year.
Yeah.
Right. So because the innovation cycle has so decreased, that getting up to the speed on a technology or on a career, on a business roadmap is very easy.
Yeah.
Right. So we are blessed to see these many changes. Moving ahead, this is all interesting. I'm sure like we will require another podcast or series of this kind of a session, but few important points. Let's say that you're working on Gen AI and agentic AI, right? And people are talking about super intelligence.
Yeah.
I was in NVIDIA and they was telling like, you are the user of agentic AI and we are working on super intelligence, which will be released soon, right? So first of all, if people, because agents are too much discussed,
Yes.
right? And there is a lot of confusion that agents are nothing, just a bot.
Yes.
Right.
So
And
that's
rebranded that. So maybe I think tell something about your
So that's a great question. So every day in our organization or in our teams, we talk, what is an agent? First of all, what is an agent? So is it confusing the people in the market? I would say yes, because this agent was not there a year back. Whatever we all talked about is a service, a microservice, deploying in Kubernetes or Docker and things like that. Agents are nothing but a service with backing by an LLM. So you have a service, you write 10 lines of code, you get A plus B, so you get 2 plus 2 equals to 4. So that is something that you write. But if the same thing is powered by LLM, it becomes an agent now. So there are 4 types of agents. What I have a Medium blog post as well. When this agentic AI came, I wrote about what are the different types of agents and how do you differentiate a fully autonomous agent versus a half-baked agent. So today, there is no rule that you can say like, hey, this is an agent versus this is not an agent. So there are n number of platforms, orchestration platforms, and these agentic platforms that will help you to build these agents, right? So what is it? So if there is each and every agent has a goal to perform, it has set of instructions to perform that is powered by an LLM. So if you remove LLM, it's not an agent. It's more like
so anything. So ultimately, everything boils down to how better you provide the prompt engineering, and then again you have a problem because it's not deterministic, right?
yes.
So let's say 2 and 2, there's 4. If there is a biasness, it can say 5,
Yeah,
right? And that can disturb your code.
Yeah.
Now it gives me clarification that anything where LLM helps you making the decision as agent, right? Be it the same thing that you've been doing last 10 years. We talk about hallucination in such scenarios, right? That maybe if it is 2 plus 2, 4. Tomorrow it might be 5 based on the training data, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So how do we control this kind of a hallucination of setting up the guardrails?
Yeah. So governance is something that, so when coming from healthcare background, right? So the biggest challenge that we get is getting the trust of our business. So you cannot take a healthcare product without a human in the loop into production without these guardrails. Hallucination is one. So there are so many documentations about. So recently I've been reading about GPT-5 hallucination and how to. So with proper prompt engineering, with proper set of examples, with proper training of the prompt engineering prompts that you write, hallucinations can be decreased. So there is a concept like, I'll give you an example. When we were working past, right? So there is a huge prompt that my team wrote. The thing is, we are trying to extract this patient is taking so and so medication in the past 2 years, and this is coming from a patient history.
Okay.
So the terminology that you use in the start of the prompt and the center of the prompt and then the bottom of the prompt, the person who is testing came to me with this example saying like, hey, Lakshman, when I put a statement on the top of the prompt, I'm getting the exact answer.
Okay.
But when I move to the center of the prompt, I'm not getting the answer. This is back like 2 years back. So I'm just giving you like technology have been changed now, that the way the LLMs understand the start and the end is different from what is happening in the center. So that is how the prompt engineering plays a role. So if you have like a best way of writing best prompt,
From where to learn prompt engineering?
so prompt engineering, so like I said, deep learning.ai has a prompt engineering, and also LangGraph, LangChain has documentation on prompt engineering. So prompt engineering is more like there are different types of prompt engineering.
Chain prompting and
Yes, exactly. So what they call is just single shot prompting, in the sense like simple prompts that you write. One shot prompting is like you give a prompt and you give an example. So LLMs tend to give, that's where you decrease the hallucination as well. If you give an example of, hey, this is how my text will be and this is my answer will be, LLMs tend to give you and best prompts, and the chain of thought prompting, multi-shot prompting, and all these are like different techniques that you write prompt. Even in prompting, there are different technologies that we call A star prompting technique. That means you're giving a situation, a task, and you're telling an example to the prompt, to the LLM, and also you're giving special reminder and instructions. Like I said, right, LLMs tend to perform good at the start and the end. So the reminder plays a key role, saying like, hey, these are the extra information that you need to keep an eye when you're giving the answer to Got it. So yeah, hallucinations is something that it will be there. It all depends upon the type of the work that you're doing and the models that you're using and the way that you're writing prompts.
okay. So the next thing, right? We talked about your past life, your journey to US, and then talked about the current work. How the future Lakshman's career look like?
So the future, that's a very good question. The future next 1 year is going to be very, very challenging if you're not investing yourself today. So my gut feeling, looking into and talking with people like you, looking into forecasting, because I myself, I go to different hackathons. I talk about AI. I learn from young people what they're doing. And I recently went to a hackathon where they are building custom LLMs model and they're just in high school. So
Interesting.
so people are there. So those kind of people are the ones that make me like, hey, what am I doing? Am I doing right thing or not? So the next 1 year is going to be challenging for everybody. It's if you need to be on top end of the technologies. If you are not, I would suggest learn deep learning.ai. Learn what is AI if you are in technology. And if you want to grow your career in AI, those are the few things. So next 1 year, what I'm expecting is I'm thinking like the working model of how industries hire people will change. Previously, you need a 15-year lead engineering person to lead like a 20 team or 10 people team. Now I feel like a guy with 2 or 3 years experience who is passionate and who is learning new things. If you hire a person like this, like I mentioned, right, I enjoy working with the people young in career. They bring zeal to the team as well as they bring new things to the team. So if you are in that boat, I would say learn and try to prove yourself. And next 1 year is going to be challenging for everybody because like I was telling about AI tools, right? If you know how to use that, you will survive. I'm seeing people in the organization saying, "Why are you using AI to do your work?"
Okay.
That is not the way that you should be telling your team. You should be telling your team, use whatever tools that is available for you from your organization. Get the work done fast and smart. Don't That doesn't mean like do nothing. So learn these technologies, and like I said, I'm expecting organizations to make drastic changes to the way organizations were performing today because they wanted to cost savings will play a key role.
There is a FOMO also that some of the clients that I might be knowing, right, that they are backed by investors, let's such. So in such cases, like if you're not using AI, right, they are not ready to invest into it.
Yeah.
because they are not thinking that you are futuristic.
Yeah.
So there is a FOMO, which means there are investment. Since there is investment, there is no ROI, which means we are going to reduce. This happened during the COVID also, right? There was a hype because there was so much demand enabling remote teams.
Yeah.
Right. Zoom.
Yeah.
Right. And Google Meet and things like that. And there was so much innovation happening that times so that people can innovate, work remotely. And that's where we were at a growth rate of 35 to 40%. That eventually when things settle down, when we got to know COVID is not going anywhere, right? So then we optimized the team. There were layoffs.
Yeah.
We all heard of. I'm assuming some similar kind of situation would come where people are investing in AI, programs will fail if that's not done correctly. And then I think we will be in a situation again where people have to lose their jobs.
Exactly. Yeah. So right now, all the organizations are investing in AI, but the outcome, like you said, is not yet out. Do you know how many agentic AI use cases are live in production today? I went to a recent conference. They mentioned only 20% of the people who build all these agentic AI orchestrations are in production. The number might have increased now. Everything might have ended as a POC. Why? Trust. Trust is the key role here. If you are unable to bring this use case or whatever to your business to gain that trust, to make it a production product, there is nothing that you can do. So now that companies are investing in AI, so the results will be out by next year maybe. Depends upon the strategy of
Gartner must be collecting all
yeah,
this
yes,
information.
exactly. Gartner plays a key role in collecting all this information. But if you look the next 1 year, I would say, yeah, if you are on the top edge technologies, if you are in a place where you're doing day-to-day job, copy pasting things, I would say stop that and learn something. If you are doing things that AI can replace, think about it.
Either be expert,
Yeah.
use AI and be more efficient,
Exactly. That
or find another job.
yes.
Right, another kind of a
Yeah.
job and be smarter.
Yeah.
Okay, so
yeah.
please complete.
No, I meant to say everybody cannot get an AI job or anything, right? But like you said, like learn how to use those and be an expert.
So with that, Lakshman, we will take this to conclusion. Maybe any last message, and I think throughout, if I see your past journey, your current journey, the future looks like. I'm sure one thing that you did not call out, but I've seen like Lakshman has been really laborious, and I see him successful in his career in 10 years. Most likely starting his own venture because that is the mindset that I've learned from you, right? So with those things in mind, we will be in touch. Any last message that you want to talk about to the audience who's going to watch this video?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, the last message I would say is like, yeah, from my past career, right? Like I mentioned, the laziness that I did in my early career that slowed down my life, which I realized early. For me, there are few leaders that helped me. They saw me my growth. For example, when I was shifting my first job, there's one leader who saw me passionate about it, and he gave me a best role that he gave me hands-on to explore and fail early, which is great. When you
I'm guessing that leader.
yeah. So those leaders are the ones who path to success. Even today, those leaders will make you how your futures will be there. So I would say like if you are in a role where you can make new leaders born, try to get that. So even today, I have a very good relationship with every person that I work in my past 15 years. My first manager, Steve, still I am in touch with him. We text with him. Whenever I go to Kansas City, I meet him. Similarly, the same thing. My team that used to report back to me few years back, I am in touch with them. I talk with them. Same thing with them. Maintain that relationship. Talk to them. Bring them to the table whenever you're going to their place. The good thing about myself is if my team in this remote world, if I go to Florida, if I have two people working there, I just text them, hey, I'll be in Florida for the next 2 days. Let's have some breakfast. Same thing. I met Anil last year, even before we have this engagement. We both were in a different organizations, but that's how we maintain relationships. Learn about them. You don't need to.
That's how I'm saying, like, you are going to start something on your own because you have all those qualities, your knowledge, your passion, your relationship building, and the way you look at the future things, right? So definitely, and I think some of these things that is worth learning from Lakshman, I would recommend to look at his LinkedIn post. It's very engaging, and he told me like he's going to be more serious in like mentoring people, right? So with that, I think Lakshman, thank you so much for joining me on this AB Talks, and we will create part 2 of this for sure.
Yeah, this time maybe we'll go live coding or do something.
Yeah,
fun.
yeah,
Yeah.
He will give me all the challenges. So with that,
Yeah.
last message, and this is the first time I'm like asking you guys, if you're watching this on YouTube, go and hit
Subscribe and
the bell icon.
bell icon.